You want to take this slide? Cause I
This
kind of figured, I was gonna create this, and I thought you probably like to take this slide.
well, thank you, sir. You see, you got Tyrese Haliburton, and there's been a reason why we know his name, especially in the 2025 playoffs, and this is why. Let's go into the first round, shall we? Game 5. They were at home against the Bucks. The Bucks in overtime were up 7 with about 45 seconds left. Tyrese was like, "Oh, not a problem." Mr. Halliburton gave the Bucks the game-winning layup with 1.3 seconds left, and then we saw hilarity ensue in Gainesbridge Fieldhouse, and John Halliburton talking mad trash in the face of Giannis Antetokounmpo. And of course that put the Pacers into the next round as they gentlemen swept the Bucks. Then we get to the meeting between the Pacers and the Bucks. Game 2, similar scenario. The Cavs had double digit leads all throughout the game until the last minute or so. And they were up 7 with I think about 50 seconds to go in the game. And then Halliburton was on the free throw line. He bricked the second shot. He got his own rebound, played with the Cavs defense for a little while, dribbled out almost to the top of the key, and hit a game winning three with 1 second left. But wait, there's more. Let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals as he did his number in the semifinals. Let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 1, where the Knicks had the Pacers down 17 with about 5 minutes to go, 14 with about 3 minutes to go, and 9 with about a minute to go. Now, this wasn't a game winner because, well, Mr. Halliburton's feet is just a little bit too big. Because if his feet were about 3 inches smaller, this would be yet another game winner. But it was a game tying jumper to force an overtime, and the Pacers won that game. And basically, that game turned the series, even though it was game 1. Oh, speaking of game 1, let's talk about game 1 of the finals. Mr. Halliburton did it one more time, this time against really the best defense in the playoffs in the Thunder. After a miss, rebound was gathered. Siakam got the pass out the rebound, and then he handed the ball off to Halliburton, and he dribbled it to the right spot where he took about a 19, 20-foot jumper, which got nothing but net with zero point 0.3 seconds to go. And the Thunder had the lead all the way until that shot. Four games in 4 different levels in the playoffs where we got a chance to see Tyrese Haliburton maybe not have the greatest of games, but he had the biggest of moments. And it goes to what I've heard in wrestling, and I've actually heard with football and baseball and basketball too. Sometimes it's not about the contribution. Sometimes it's about moments. Hence why you have a lot of people who think Robert Ory deserves to be a Hall of Famer because although he has 7 rings with no losses, maybe for the exception of the second ring, he really wasn't a big contributor game in and game out with the rest of the 6 rings he wore. But you can in every single one of those 7 championship seasons, you can point to moments in the playoffs or in the finals where you had him hit a big bucket when you least expect it. And if you didn't hit that bucket, the fortunes of the team would have turned different, and they would have either been eliminated at some point or they would have had to struggle harder at some point. We're seeing this with Tyrese Halliburton, and whether the Pacers win this series and they come up with the Larry O'Brien Trophy or not, we're gonna have to talk about Mr. Halliburton. We're gonna have to talk about him because he is the guy who seems to be the engine that makes this whole Pacers team run. And he plays on the fringe. Sometimes he plays like a shooting guard, sometimes he plays like a point guard. Most times he actually acts like a point guard. So I give him mad credit that he doesn't try to force his way into, yeah, give me 20 shots a game. Although I think sometimes he may need to insert himself and assert himself more in that regard. But if the rest of the Pacers are like, huh, look, number zero, you the guy. If we're within striking range and we have the ball with about 20 seconds or less left, do your thing, Tyrese. Do your thing. So, Mr. Tyrese Haliburton, yes, you are now the latest version of Mr. Clutch. You actually might be called Mr. May and June because you just keep on hitting big time shots with little to no time remaining. And if you keep this up, you might hit one of these shots, and we actually might hear Indiana Pacers NBA world champs eventually because of one of their shots. But yeah, congrats to you, Tyrese. I mean, you're showing why big players step up in big moments, even when seemingly you don't have the ability to affect the game probably in the way you would like in the, I don't know, 40, 45, 46, 47 minutes that precedes it. But yeah, I look at Tyrese, and this is what I see. I see a man who he wants to influence the team, but he wants to do it in a way like Isaiah Thomas did with the Bad Boy Pistons, like Chris Paul did with many teams, like with John Stockton, how he did with the Jazz in the mid '80s and all the '90s, where it did not necessarily mean he had to score all the time, but the points could be there and he could score. Here's something that I think we're going to be saying about Halliburton, like what I think it was Celtics versus Lakers series, uh, documentary series, where Kevin McHale was actually asked about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird as juxtaposed to the rest of the talent that were on both teams. And McHale actually said, quote, here you have two guys who were real similar in mindset, similar in passion, similar in focus, and similar in intent, where they could give you 7 to 10 boards. They could give you 7 to 12 assists, and they can only shoot the ball 12 times. And you know that they are the best players by far on the court. Close quote. Halliburton is sort of that ilk. He is sort of cut from that cloth, where he is the guy who he doesn't need to have 20 shots in a game, but he wants to affect how the flow is. And should you need him at the end of games, give it to him. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the fact that you could be the best player on the court or one of the best players on the court, and you don't have to put 30 points on the board to do it. You just have to be big when the moments mean most. Enter the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton.
Every single series.
Yeah. One game every single series.
This man does not fold when the moment arrives.
Mm-mm. No, no.
You don't want to call him a superstar? Perfectly fine with that. I don't want him as a superstar.
Stephen A. Smith.
Superstar, when you look at a superstar, you know night in, night out what you expect from them. That's not Tyrese Haliburton.
And the thing is, it doesn't have to be him.
And it don't have to be. He's a star. Doesn't
Right.
matter.
Right.
He ain't superstar. I'm cool with that. He's a star though. But I'm gonna say this again. This is part one of the time the Cole Johnson might want to have his dead horse uh
Oh,
video
yeah.
on this one.
Oh, I loved. Yeah. This is an yeah. This is
I still haven't heard from the NBA players. I still haven't heard from y'all yet.
this has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation.
Just saying. Y'all call that man overrated.
That was the best thing that Tyrese
Overrate
Haliburton.
that.
That was the best thing that Tyrese Haliburton could have ever heard. And this was before the playoffs began. That was the best thing he could have ever heard. He's like, overrated, huh? How about these buckets? How about these buckets? you might as well be Booker T every time Tyrese Haliburton gets the ball. Ah, 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 ah. Swish. Yeah. You might as well.
I'm, I mean, the man is Mr. Clutch. And the most important part of the entire NBA season.
You might as well call him Mr. May and Mr. June.
Game on the line. You better hope Indiana don't have the ball. It's gonna
Well,
be in number zero's hand.
well, no, game on the line, game on the line, and they're within 3 points. Yeah, within 3 points. 20 seconds or under. And you do not, and the Pacers with the ball, you do not want Halliburton to touch it. Because he has proven against the Bucks, the Cavs, the Knicks, and now the Thunder. He will break your heart every single time when that scenario takes place.
And Cole's favorite one is the Cleveland Cavalier one.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is what pisses me off. Not Halliburton, the Cavs. How the heck you have him on the line? He bricks a free throw. You don't box him out. Forget not boxing up. You don't box him out. He gets the board. He plays around with your dumb behinds. He dribbles to the top of the key and swishes a three in your face. You deserve that L. You deserve that L.
Because at first, it was all about the Bucks for Cole Johnson. As y'all heard him as he broke it down from 45 seconds to 20 seconds down to like 5 seconds until Tyrese Haliburton drove past Giannis for the layup.
Poor you.
And then the Cavs decided to say, hold my beer.
Mm-hmm.
Miss free throw.
You box the free throw shooter out. I mean, how is that possible?
The number one team in the East choked away game 2 in Cleveland.
And
Shout
you
out to
had a
Victor.
double-digit lead.
Shout
and
out to Victor for that one.
Yes.
In Cleveland.
Yeah, a double-digit lead, and you choked that one away. Didn't even, but see, at least the Bucks had the Bucks and the Knicks had the dignity to have their L take place in overtime. No, Cavs are like, let's get this over with. Let's make this collapse even more monumental and not even waste overtime.
Man. And then me and Cole Johnson, we talked about it on Facebook. Oklahoma City Thunder. And I put it out there. Oklahoma City, y'all didn't learn from the previous opponents of the Indiana Pacers. Because if you did, you would have known no lead is safe with them.
Well, you said it yourself too, and so did I. They didn't learn from their own series with the Nuggets. Game 1 there too, where they had a 15-point lead there as well. And the Nuggets chipped away at that lead, chipped away in that lead, and you had an Aaron Gordon 3. Make that wonderful arena that is loud and very collegiate a mausoleum. You didn't learn.